You know what it is? It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen, 5 o'clock, and you're watching TNT, the Monday Night Wars. My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and welcome to TNT. Bang!
Hello and welcome to week 15 of the award-winning TNT, the Monday Night Wars, brought to you all the way from atop of TNT Tower in downtown Tulsa, where it takes 2 elevators to get all the way to the top. All the way, too. That's exhausting.
Two.
Yes. This week we watched December 11th, 1995, WWE Raw and WCW Nitro. I'm your host with the most BS, Trevor Shelby, and joining me all the way from downstairs in the basement is Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, in the basement. That's where you got me?
Yep. That's right, folks. You can join us every week. Monday, 5 o'clock, we watch Monday Night Raw and Nitro. We're doing it in order, so if you guys are new, definitely check us out. You can watch it on the WWE Network and then join us every single week for the fun. Next week, we are watching the December 18th edition of Nitro and Raw, so that's going to be fun.
Which, that will be the last Raw of the year.
Yeah. So, we've got some things to figure out here. So, what were your Nitro scores from last week?
Well, the first one I gave a 3-2. I mean,
Yeah.
it was okay, you know. I mean, it was Sting, you know, but and you know, yeah, that build up with you know, him and Lex in that promo with Mean Gene
Okay.
earlier, and it was okay, but it wasn't
I'm going back in my
it
notes
wasn't the
here.
best.
Oh, Sting and Kurosawa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another jobber against the headliner. You know,
Yeah.
you know, a main eventer,
Yeah.
and you know, it's the same old stuff, and you know, but second one, what was the second
Scott
match? I forgot.
Norton versus the Giant.
Oh yeah, I actually enjoyed that one,
Yeah.
um, a little bit more than I should have, um, just because you know, the Giant actually took a pretty big beating. I
Yeah.
kind of like that,
It
and
it kind of was
I thought.
unexpected.
You know, the ending was really unexpected because, you know, it's kind of like the Giant caught him in midair
Mm-hmm.
and chokeslam.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first time that's been happened on Raw or on Nitro, I think.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Pretty
so
entertaining match, actually. I gave that one
I
a
gave,
6.5.
I actually gave that a 6.
Did you?
Yeah,
Very good.
and then the next one was
Let's see. Well,
the
that was the main
next one
event with
was it
oh wait, we skipped. We skipped. You started with Sting, but you had the American
yeah,
Males versus Harlem
American
Heat.
Male Harlem Heat,
Yeah.
and uh, yeah, that proposal in the middle of it kind of
Yeah.
threw me off. Um,
uh
I I mean it was a good match. I mean,
yeah.
but and it was a good way to start it, even though you know we had a lame match right after it.
Yeah.
Um, so and you got to see you know the spin kick that Booker T you know made famous.
Yeah.
Um, so I went ahead and gave that a 5.
Okay. I like it.
The main event match was who was that?
That was Lex with Jimmy Hart versus Macho Man for the world title.
This one pissed me off.
I knew it would.
I mean, because Jimmy Hart's getting involved, and then and it was blatant and right in front of the ref most of the time.
Right.
And then someone else came out too. I can't remember who and attacked Macho Man.
Yeah.
But then they called the match because Hulk Hogan came out.
Right.
And that, of course, all hell breaks loose for a little bit. But I would have, I went ahead and gave that a 4.5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match up until the end, and I just, that end just pissed me off. I don't know. So, yeah.
We got a new follower, Brad Hamilton. Thank you so much, Brad, for following us.
Hi, Brad.
So, yeah.
I watched 3 hours of wrestling last night, so I was, everything's getting kind of jumbled. So
yeah, I know, man.
Overall,
I know. So okay.
I think I gave the win for the week to Nitro.
You gave it to Nitro?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Let me take that note because I'm gonna forget that. What did I do with my pen?
I don't know.
There it is. Hang on.
Oh. Remember, you put me in the basement.
Well, I know. It's the only. This tower is so tall, but it's just there's only so much space. I gotta put you where I can put you. So, anyways, I mean, you're the second T. I mean, come on. So, anyways.
No.
So
that's never that. No.
CW wins.
Team my ass.
All right. So let me. Oh, I keep doing that. So let me pull up what the let's see where my favorite tab is. I'm pretty sure I have it bookmarked. Yes. Okay, so this week with Monday Night Raw, we have something kind of interesting going on. Let's see. It is the December 11th edition, and I don't have. Apparently, I don't have here it is. Okay, so this was almost a tie. I'll put it that way for this week in the ratings at December 11th, 1995. Raw has a 2.5 score. Nitro edged out a win at 2.6. So that's pretty interesting how those ratings went there. And like I said before, I don't know if that's just people switching back and forth with the remote, because that's what I did at this time. I was watching both shows as much as possible. I don't know how it's recorded, but back then especially, I don't know how they knew how many people were watching. Was that something like built in your TV or something? I don't know.
Well, no, they're Nielsen ratings. Well, in order to get counted, back then, you had to be a Nielsen family, which they gave. They sent you a box, and that box told them what you were watching.
Well, and I didn't do that.
That's how they got the percentages. I mean, yeah. It's still somewhat like that today, but I don't know if you get a box or how they do it.
Yeah,
they have these TVs and stuff now, but
well, like what's been playing this whole time up here is we had Jeff Hardy versus Owen Hart at the very beginning of
Hey,
Raw.
hold on. Didn't
What?
you say you had like a freaking pop quiz for
Yeah,
me?
yeah, but that's after Raw. Let's move on. You just settle down. I'm directing.
I didn't have a chance.
Come on,
I
second
didn't
T.
get told
Your
anything
your
about
your
this
T is
until
about to be
today.
uncapitalized. It's gonna be a little T.
You didn't tell me anything about this until an hour before the show.
Yeah, but
I have no idea
I
what
just
these
think-
questions are.
you're gonna understand when it happens. I already told you. You're worrying about nothing.
Whatever. It's a pop quiz. I'm Asian. I worry about things.
Yeah, well, you're fine. You're gonna do great. If you get 2 correct, I'll be happy. But we're gonna change your office if that's all you get. So,
You're going to the bedroom next week.
anyways, yeah. So this started off with Jeff Hardy versus Owen Hart. This is our first viewing of Jeff Hardy in the Monday Night Wars, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
It was really interesting, especially since he didn't have tattoos or,
Yeah,
because what I remember him as whenever I first started watching wrestling again in college, which was about 96, 97-ish.
yeah.
So,
Well,
but
yeah. So I believe Jeff has been with the company since 1994. Matt, I think probably the same. They were. If I remember right, they were they appeared on like Sunday Night Heat and stuff like that, or Saturday morning, maybe even. I remember watching them as a kid. Yeah, pretty much. And that's what happened here. It was a fun match.
Judging by the way Jeff wrestled, I'd say he should have been a mid-carder by this point if he's been with the company that long, because he did really well.
Yeah,
considering who he was wrestling.
He took his licks pretty well. I thought it was pretty cool that like he was able to take as much as they dished out for being with the company for about a year. The Owen won this with a rollover pin, pretty creative. But then afterwards, Yoko came out, did the bonsai drop to him. Poor Jeff.
Man, and at this point, Jeff is not as big as he is now. He's
Yeah.
like tiny.
Yeah, he's a little bitty kid. I don't know how old he is at this point, but he looks like a teenager. And after receiving the bonsai drop, Owen Hart locks him up in the sharpshooter. Diesel, they show him backstage. He kind of loses it. He runs out there to stop him. Owen makes a run for it. Yoko doesn't, and Yoko gets knocked out of the ring but lands on his feet. So, I'm going to take all of that into consideration in my score, and you're going to notice besides a couple of things, you're going to notice some big scores for me this week, because this week was excellent. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, just real quick, Jeff was 18 at the time. He's
Holy.
77, baby. August
Holy
31st,
moly.
1977 is his birthday.
Man.
So at this time, he was about 18, almost 19, maybe.
That is crazy to
And
think.
he's getting flattened
Yeah, by
in the
Yoko.
ring professional.
500 something pounds.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love
What
it.
did you give him?
I gave it 6.5. It wasn't that it was so much the wrestling. I like the ending. I like the story of them just crushing him and basically kind of furthering the story where they're pissing off Diesel.
Yeah, I gave it a 5 just
Yeah.
because, and the point deficit is going to reflect also with the British Bulldog and uh, um, Bret
Brett?
Hart's match too,
Oh, okay.
because because they kept mentioning the Bulldog's wife,
Right.
who's Owen and Brett's sister, through the whole thing, and it all about what she's thinking about the match, coming up at the pay-per-view
Right.
and stuff like that. Instead of focusing, I could give a rat's ass about that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And that's
So
not the only time they focus in on Diana out there. So
yeah, I mean she's pretty, but
yeah. Yeah, she's
you know,
but yeah.
and it just got to the point where I thought that the King was obsessed with her instead of with the match,
Yeah.
and it lost focus on the match, and it was a good match,
Yeah,
I thought.
it was.
Especially since you got a great mid carder, you got an up and comer in Jeff Hardy, and Jeff held his own and took his
Mhm.
beating and stuff like that. Even pulls off some moves that for a guy who had been with the company for a year, that were quite impressive.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 5
Yeah,
just
that
because
makes sense.
they're taking away
Five's on
their
par.
attention. Their attention is taking off of the match, by putting it on to someone in the audience.
Right. Well, let me see.
Because otherwise, it would have been a 6 probably.
Yeah. I understand. I went a little crazy with 6.5, but I'm sticking to it. It I enjoyed it. The whole Diana thing was, like you said, a little crazy, but I love the squishing at the end, and then the sharpshooter. It just cracked me up. Okay, let's move on to the second match of the night. We've got Asia Kong versus, and I'm gonna butcher this, Chapart Chapartate Chaparte Chaparte. I don't know. Miss Asari. Miss Asari. I'm just gonna go with that. Versus Asia Kong. I like a big Asia Kong fan so far. She's crazy, and this match really showcased her power. This other girl, let's just call her the Red Ranger. She she did some flips that was pretty cool. Like they did that where she did the flips into the donkey kick, and then
Yeah.
Jerry the King Lawler lost it on that, saying that it was pretty fitting for.
Yeah.
And then there was a quote, and I took it down. I was gonna record it, and I thought better of it, but I don't know if you caught this, but King said Asia Kong is in a bad mood because her hero, Fat Boy, died. And then he said they used to sit together on the couch and eat potatoes together.
I hope you meant potato
What?
chips.
Yeah. Then he goes on later on to say, well, Vince McMahon, you didn't let me, finish my joke. And then he says that he fell off the couch and that's how he died. And
that wasn't funny at all.
It wasn't funny at all. It was stupid. And, but yeah, it was ridiculous. Asia Kong basically kills the Red Ranger in this. It is non-stop. She has one moment where she tries to pull it off and get a win, but yeah, Asia Kong just kept putting her to the mat and then picking her up on the 3 count, not letting her get knocked out.
Yeah.
And then she did that pile driver that was just insane, and it was done after that. But I enjoyed it immensely. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10.
I gave it a 5.2.
5.2. That's different.
I can't keep giving a whole number or a half number.
I always go whole or half. I don't know. Some of my brain won't let me do the other. but maybe I should. Oh. I lost you on my thing somehow.
You lost me?
No, you're still there. It's just I don't know where you went. There you are.
Whoa, I disappeared from the screen.
You did. I think I deleted you somehow. Your audio was still there, I believe.
Really? You're cutting me from the show.
I am. You're Little T, remember? We'll just call you Ice T. Anyways, so after this, we had the most awkward, yes, awkward interview. I'm just gonna ignore you. That involved Shawn Michaels and Todd Penningham. This was kind of lame to me.
It really was.
Sean's bad acting kind of ruined it. Todd was just asking questions, and he asked the normal, like, how you doing? What's, how you been? What have you been up to? And then it's like, are you coming back or are you retiring? And Sean got all butthurt about that. And he's like, that's the real questions you're going to ask here, huh? I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. And then he was like,
that's actually better than your other impersonations, dude.
I like my Vince McMahon one.
That's
Vincent
not
Kennedy McMahon. You're hard. Okay. You gotta say that wasn't bad.
That's a bad impersonation.
Anyways, I just wanted to kind of talk about that for a second, though. Yeah, so guess so far with the way they're working this is Sean may or may not return. We'll see.
But as we know,
yeah, he's gone forever. So
never came back.
Next match is probably the match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it lasted through 2 seconds.
Very well known. Both of them are very well known. We had Mr. Ahmed Johnson versus Rick Stockhausen. I wonder who won this one. So, Rick, he's pretty much known for his triple power bomb flip maneuver, but he didn't get it pulled off here. And 5-star frog splash. Yeah.
He's the epitome of a jobber.
Yeah. He just came out in black tights and took some bumps.
He didn't even have an entrance. He just there.
He was there. Yeah. I took almost no notes on this one. I just put my notes was Ahmed won. So
basically, he went in there and that was it.
Yeah. This pretty lame match, but I'm getting tired of these. 3 out of 10. That's about as generous as I can be on that. 2? Yeah. All right, let's move on. That's about all I want to give that one. Next one of the night, we had the interview with 1-2-3 Kid and Sycho Sid. They pretty much build up. I guess they got that tag match coming up, and wherever the Kid's gonna be, Sycho's gonna be. I don't know. It was interesting. We
gotta hurry up and get the Psycho's leg break.
Yeah, well, Sycho Sid's. I will say his mic skills were a little bit better this time.
Yeah.
I actually understood what he was saying, and he didn't say anything too crazy. After that was the Bob Backlund versus Bret Hart, 2 very well unknown people. I'm just gonna keep this up. This is pretty much a rematch of what happened a few years ago where these two had an unexpected outcome where Bob actually beat Bret and took his title. So this
I
is
mean, like Bob's held the title the second longest in the WWE history.
yeah. Well,
I mean,
if you notice in our screenshots, they got Bret Hart's sister Diana in a lot of them for some weird reason. Um, so while this match is going on, the King will not stop talking about her. He will not stop, and he gets up and he's like, "I'm an interviewer," and that's exactly what he does. He goes over there and interviews her.
it was a very, very uncomfortable interview at that.
Yeah, I don't think they planned it the way it kind of looked for her, anyways. She was not. She was trying to watch the match, and she was just kind of blowing the King off. And anytime that he asked her, what she thought about the match with the Bulldog and Bret, and she said she's gonna be on the Bulldog side. It's her husband, you know, which that's kind of understandable. How that's not really shocking, is it?
What?
That
Like I said, I
that
lost your video for a second.
Oh, did you? Oh, oh, I don't know. I didn't hear
Where
you.
are you?
Oh, well. Anyways, what I was saying is that is it really shocking that she's gonna choose the Bulldog over Bret?
No, it's not. It's not shocking at all.
Yeah. So I didn't understand where that was coming from, but it's no big deal. But yeah, the match was very technical. It was very old school wrestling. They stretched each other for a long time, lots of stretching.
It went three segments. I mean, it was really long. It was good.
Yeah,
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a great match.
yeah. It reminded me of a lot of the old school wrestling of. I've been watching a lot, doing a lot of history with the NWA and stuff, and watching a lot of their early stuff from the 1950s up, and a lot of it's just hold after hold after hold after hold, and like a throwing a punch is like a last resort kind of thing. And
Yeah.
that's what this reminded me of. A lot of these two guys were just rolling around the mat, very good wrestling. I enjoyed it up until the British Bulldog interrupts the match. Whenever Bret applied the sharpshooter, then Bob Backlund was able to get the chicken wing on Bret, and this match was done with. I mean, they had already rung the bell, and
Yeah,
so
because the British Bulldog interrupted.
yeah.
And
Now, I would call this a Bret Hart win. They didn't actually say who won this match. I'd say it's Bret Hart win by disqualification.
Yeah, Bret won by disqualification, and that kind of pissed off Backlund.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah, you could see it on his face. He got kind of TPO'd there, and he looked like he's going to go after the Bulldog. But he quickly decided otherwise and went away. But yeah, nah, not a bad edition of Nitro of Raw, really though. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I actually enjoyed it quite a bit too. It's even with all the attention to the female heart.
Yeah. I believe her name's Diana. I'm about 39% sure. So that's pretty high for me. That's high enough for me to just throw names out there.
yeah, her name is Diana Smith. I know.
Yeah.
But she's a heart.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Well, okay. Time for your quiz. Okay.
No, I thought we were going to do the ratings first.
Oh.
Of who won?
Of who won? No. Okay, so I've got to pull this up now. This weekend after this show is going to be WWF In Your House number 5. So, We're
Really?
going to go over match by match. And I'm going to say some names. So-and-so versus so-and-so. You're going to tell me who you think is going to win. If you get it right, your office is going to go up a floor. If you go it wrong, you're going to go down a floor, and then we're going to have to dig the basement deeper, and that's just going to cost the company a whole lot of money. If you do that, I mean, come on. Anyways, so
You're the
see,
one who watches the pay-per-views. How am I supposed to?
no, this is complete guesses. I know that you don't know who wins, so this is good. Okay. All right. So the first match of the night, we have Marty Jannetty and Razor Ramon fighting
Right.
Sycho Sid and the 1-2-3 Kid. And just so you know, this match went 12 minutes and 22 seconds. All right, who won?
Marty Jannetty and Razor Ramon.
All right, you did good job. You're on the first floor. All right. Okay, so the second match of the night, we have Ahmed Johnson versus Buddy Landrell.
Ahmed Johnson.
What? You are now on the second floor. Look at you.
Well, you got a no-name in there.
I know. And you know what's funny is he's supposed to be facing what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. The Dean Douglas.
Dean
Yeah,
Douglas.
the Dean. So yeah, it seems
But
like
his
we will
contract
not be
was up.
seeing Dean Douglas anymore. Sounds like he no-showed this one. Okay. Now, this is the match that we know is going to be the match of the year. Henry Godwin versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley in an Arkansas hog pin match. And the referee is Hillbilly Jim. This went 8 minutes and 58 seconds, which is about 7 minutes longer than it should have went. So, tell me.
Okay, so Triple H at this point is undefeated.
Yes, sir.
And someone's got to end his undefeated streak.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say Triple H lost.
Oh, you're back on the second floor. Or wait, first floor. I mean, you got to the second floor. No, you were at the third floor. I'm all. No, you're on the second. So yeah, you're back on the first floor. How about that? We're putting you on the first floor. You lost that one. Yeah, Hunter Hearst Helmsley went on. Hunter Hearst Helmsley actually loses his winning streak. Actually, I will give you a multiple choice question at the end for that one. So, the next match is Owen Hart versus Diesel. Who wins that one? It went 4 minutes and 34 seconds.
Diesel.
You're back in the basement, sir. Owen Hart defeated Diesel by disqualification.
That should count.
It counts. Okay, this one, I know you've got this one. It's the gigantic XXL casket match. The Undertaker versus King Mabel. Who wins this one?
The Undertaker.
Of course. All right, you're back on the first floor. And for the main event of the night that went 21 minutes and 9 seconds, Bret Hart, the champion, defending his championship against the British Bulldog. This got 4.5 stars by Dave Meltzer. Who won?
The fact that Bret has just won the title, I'm going to say Bret won it.
All right, you're on the second floor. You won. Good job. And all right, for a chance to go up to the third floor, who defeated Hunter Hearst Helmsley for the first time. We'll go, was it Stone Cold Steve Austin? Was it Owen Hart? Was it the Ultimate Warrior? That's all I'm going to give you. A, B, or C? Stone Cold, Owen Hart, or the Ultimate Warrior?
Well, I mean, it's that's kind of a gimme, but it's too standoutish because we're talking Stone Cold doesn't make his debut until later on next year.
Yep. I will give you, before you answer, I'll give you a hint. The person that defeated Hunter Hearst Helmsley has not been featured in the Monday Night Wars yet.
So it would be Stone Cold. Because
Think
the
of who
What?
Think about what I said.
He's not been featured.
Yes. The Ultimate Warrior has not been featured, and Stone Cold has not been featured in the Monday Night Wars yet.
But the Ultimate Warrior's retired.
Was he? Okay. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Stone Cold.
All right. You're staying on that second floor. It was the Ultimate Warrior. He's making a return shortly. That is our future. So, all right. You did good, though. You're on the second floor. You get to move all your stuff up yourself. Don't ask anybody else to help you. All right.
I hate you.
I know. It was fun, though. You know it was fun. All right. Let's take a break with our buddy Buff Bagwell.
I am Buff and I'm the stuff, but everybody needs to listen. I am Buff Bagwell telling you to watch out for TNT, the Monday Night Wars on YouTube. These guys are aces in picking winners of Raw and Nitro each week. So tune in every Monday night at 5 p.m. Trevor Shelby, Thomas Kennedy, and are my biggest fans, bro. That's huge to me. That means a lot to me, so thank you for that. And I know you're gonna love their show, so check it out. Remember, TNT, Monday Night Wars, YouTube, Buff Daddy out.
Buff Daddy out. Yeah. Man, one day while that's happening, I'm just gonna take my shirt off and I'm gonna be just like Buff Daddy there. I'm gonna be Buff Daddy out.
We're trying to gain viewers, not lose viewers.
Oh well. We can call me Doughy Body. Anyways, so the next thing we did was WCW Nitro, the December 11th edition, of course. This one started off pretty quick. The match started while the announcers were sitting there talking, like you could hear them in the background. And
yeah.
I do want to mention that Pepe was dressed in his finest biker gear today. It's wonderful. And yeah. So I think the leather jacket is a new one. I don't think he's broke that out yet. I wonder how many outfits he has for this dog.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
JL has been missing from action. He had an injury, and so it's nice seeing JL back in the action on the Monday Night Wars. This was actually a really good match. I enjoyed it quite a bit. They did mention during this match that Starrcade is going to feature Japan wrestlers versus WCW wrestlers. They're going to be competing for the Wrestling World Cup, whatever that is. So I don't know if that's something that's symbolic, like if it goes back in history, that's a thing, or if that's something that Eric Bischoff was just sitting on the toilet one day watching soccer and was like, "Hey, that's a good idea."
I think it's something that he just made up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah, they did say this is where the big boys play a couple times during this match. So yeah, if you were drinking, you would be drinking during this match if you were doing the drinking game. The Eddie Guerrero won this one in pretty good fashion. I enjoyed it quite a bit. This was lots of flipping, flying, and very innovative for this time. I was feeling very generous. Went up to a 7 out of 10.
Well, see, if I would have seen the start of the match, it would have been different. Because I mean,
Yeah,
and
that's
this is one
true.
of my problems with WCW is they cut out in the middle of matches all the time, and it
Yeah.
just I don't like it because
Mm-hmm.
you miss stuff, and this is a live show.
Right.
You know, do a split screen. I don't care. Just don't cut away from the match.
They're always
That's what
cutting
I'm
away.
there for.
We miss so
Huh?
much. We've missed so much through the series. We
I
have.
know we have because we come back and someone's in a pinfall, and we're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You know. But like we don't know how long this match has been going on.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
so I
assume it
mean,
just started, but I don't know.
it,
they're in the middle of it whenever we got to start seeing it. So
but I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5.
okay. See, that really dinged it for you, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
So I mean, it's really gonna ding something else later on too.
our scores are going to be complete opposites on that one. Okay. So after that was a interesting bout, I guess you could say. Our favorite wrestler, Disco Inferno, was facing.
Which you
Oh,
cannot
well,
drink
first of
because he
all,
had a match.
huh?
I said you cannot drink because he had a match.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, before that, we had Lex's interview, and the only thing I noted on the Lex interview is he actually talked really good during this. He didn't mess up or flub up anything. He's been flubbing a lot, and so, but yeah, pretty much the normal BS there. But yeah, Disco versus Mr. Wonderful, who is still on his Spivey kick where he's talking to the mirror and he's calling psychics, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird gimmick. It's not working. And I guess WCW gets that because of what they do to him here. The Mr. Wonderful does get the crowd going. The crowd chants for him quite a bit during this.
Yeah.
I like his dance at the end. He does his own little disco dance, and he drops his own version of the People's Elbow before it was a thing, and he gets the win. It was pretty funny, pretty innovative, I would say, in a way. But yeah, it was a squash match. Mr. Wonderful destroyed Disco in this one. That's all it was. What did you give this score?
I gave it even though it was the only match that didn't get preempted by something else.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4 as well. We're the same on that one. Now, I would argue that this next bit is a whole nother match. It's the Four Horsemen interview. The Four
Can
Horsemen
we just
came
call
out.
it the Brian Pillman makes fool out of himself?
Yeah.
Show.
Well, this here. Oh no, I did it again somehow. Oh, you're back there, Tom. I just gotta find you. right there. There you are. I found
You're
you.
trying to remove me from the show.
I am. Anyways, so, um, you're there. It's just you were behind other things. Anyways, yeah, this is pretty much the start of Brian Pillman's, where he kind of basically takes over the microphone. He starts kind of breaking kayfabe. He'll start saying stuff like blaming the Booker man backstage and the guy booking the matches, basically. And so, yeah, this is the start of it. Supposedly, the only people that were privy to what was going on here was Eric Bischoff and Brian Pillman. This is according to Eric Bischoff because, Pillman can't say one way or the other on this anymore. So,
We can get a Ouija board.
yeah, there you go. they have some interesting moments in this where the Mean Gene is trying to get other people like Ric Flair to talk, and Brian Pillman won't allow it, and so he just keeps talking, and he runs down Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful comes out and pretty much sticks up for himself, saying that he could have been a horseman whenever he wanted, and that Brian Pillman is a bag holder. And the next thing you know, Mr. Wonderful's on the ground getting stomped. And he held his own for a second, but you got the other guys there. They beat the snot out of him and drop him on his head.
Yeah, Arn Anderson does a pile driver on him.
Yeah. And yeah, it was pretty much done after that. They spent the next few moments in the show hauling him off into an ambulance. So, but that being said, that was an exciting match. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
You're gonna judge this as a match?
Actually, I noted it this way. I said I gave this about 5 out of 10 if it was a match. But yeah, nah, seriously though, it was an interesting segment though. It broke up the monotony of what they've been doing week after week. So
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, this does him being carted off in an ambulance. That was in the middle of this next match. I'm not going to count that as part of
right.
this.
Yeah, and I think they know that they have a problem with Mr. Wonderful because his character is just not interesting at this point. And at this point, he is older, but I think he could still be used well. I don't know. They just got him in the wrong gimmick, and I think he got out there and got fired up, and I was like, hey, yeah, he's an old man. He's gonna kick their butts. But nah, he got carted off. So
he got carted off in an ambulance.
Yeah, he did. So the next match of the night was Hacksaw versus Lex Luger. This was
which I don't know why they cut in the middle of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, it's Lex who's a headliner, and Hacksaw who's a very top tier mid card.
Yeah.
If not a headliner in his own right. Because I mean he's a he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't like Nitro that much.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to your screen.
Where did I go?
You're there. But yeah, no, then I understand what you're saying. I just don't understand why they're why they keep preempting like this. But the match was pretty short here. It was pretty much filler. They got, which was surprising, Lex pretty easily got Hacksaw up there in the torture rack. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it easily. But
he didn't do it easily. Hacksaw got hacked with his own freaking 2x4.
well, no. I mean the fact that he easily picked him up. Not that it was easy to just get him in it and do it. I mean just the fact that he has the strength to pick up a guy the size of Hacksaw like that.
Well, I mean, he is like 6'12".
Well, and the other reason I say that is he's flubbed this maneuver a few times lately, picking up like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and stuff. It's almost like he can't do it, and then he'll like drop them. But guy twice their size, he did it like it was nothing. But it wasn't a very long match. There was no exhaustion in play there. So yeah. I gave this middle of the road 5 out of 10.
It would have probably been a 5 had they not,
You're so critical.
spent 15 minutes, showing him being pushed to an ambulance. So I gave it a 4.
Okay. Let's see here. The next part, we've got Macho Man being interviewed. He's gonna be facing some guy named Tensai at Starrcade. I'm gonna mess all these names up at Starrcade. And then next week, more importantly,
Tensai, Albert's other.
yeah, I think so. Actually, well, the what did well anyways, he's gonna be facing the Giant next week, which could be interesting.
He's gonna be facing a Giant for the title.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably insane. Who do you think's gonna win that?
Who do I think's gonna win that?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way they've been billing as they put it, the triangle match.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it as Macho Man wins,
Okay.
which will give the Giant his first loss.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
First
fixing my
actual
screen
loss, I
here.
should say, not first loss. I mean, it'll be his first loss instead of a DQ loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last match of the night is going to be Ric Flair and Arn Anderson versus Sting and Hogan. This was interesting because Sting actually came out without Hogan, and even the announcers were kind of like, "This is weird." Usually they come out together, and Hogan comes out and he's kind of like, like, what are you doing? You left without me. Then they kept kind of blowing it up in commentary, pretty much saying Sting is not making eye contact with Hogan. They're trying to make it seem like maybe Sting's gonna do something during this match. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Wasn't a bad match. They singled Sting out for most of it and kind of knocked the snot out of him. Now,
Yeah.
we have a drinking rule that if you have a biased referee, you got to take a drink. This referee was, I think, biased. I'm calling biased on him.
Yeah, because he didn't see a couple tags that Arn and Nature Boy did, but
Yeah.
and they still went along with it. But whenever Hogan and Sting tag, Hogan gets in the ring, he's like, "I didn't see it. Get back out."
Yeah. And that's when the second tag happened, and with with Flair and Arn Anderson, and he just ignored it completely. He let them tag that way. Oh man, I was so angry through this match. That referee is on the payroll of the Four Horsemen. I just know it. It's gonna be a storyline or something. I don't know. It was frustrating me, but yeah, it was. I thought it was a pretty good match. Especially since you've got the crappy referee going on there. Finally Hogan got his tag in, and he hulked up for the win. That's pretty much how I put it. Hulk Hogan hulked up for the win.
Even though Lex came out and put him in the rack.
Yeah. That was the other thing. The referee blatantly saw the Hogan up in the torture rack. How do you miss somebody up in the torture rack? And the referee was like, looks over and is like, oh, nope, I'm not seeing that. I thought he was like, F that. But, yeah, that was pretty insane. After this match, Brian Pillman came out. He attacked Sting and Hogan, and then Sting again, I think. He was on Sting whenever Lex came down, and he pulled Brian Pillman off Sting, but then let Brian Pillman go over and attack Hogan. And
Lex was trying to pull Sting away.
Yeah. And then Sting noticed what was happening, and he went over there and helped Hogan. Macho Man came out, started clearing house, and Sting decked him. Decked him pretty good. So, yeah, they almost went to blows there. One thing you don't see too often happened this night, which was, Macho Man kept his cool. I thought he was gonna lose it on him, but yeah, they let cooler heads prevail, and they pretty much did what they've done for the last couple weeks. They've gotten together on the microphone and was like, "We're friends, right? Right, we're friends. Shake hands. Oh, we're doing good. Now next week I'll punch you, okay?"
Well, I mean, every faction is against them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like,
and they're not working well together. They're liking each other's enemies. Everyone, before Macho Man won the belt, he was like, "I'm your friend, Hogan, but I also want your belt, just so you know." And then, so they're already not that great of a team. Hogan definitely wants his belt back. He's already said that. That's my belt. Whose name is on the belt? And the Macho Man's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get that changed." It's stupid.
It's around Macho Man's waist, so I mean, I don't think it's Hogan's belt.
Yeah, I know. It's just silly. But that's the Monday Night Wars. That's where we're at. So, yeah. After all of that, because I'm going to include all the craziness at the end, I actually enjoyed it. The match actually had a finish, but they got attacked right after, which, if you're a fan of our drinking game, you got to take a drink. But yeah, I think it was a little silly with the whole ending there, with the microphone segment where they're just reaffirming that they're friends. So I gave this a 6 out of 10.
I gave this. I gave it a 6.5 because it was a good match. I have a new drinking rule though.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Let me write it down. What's the new drinking rule?
Anytime they cut from a match to show something backstage.
Oh my God.
Two drinks.
No, one drink. You kill people. Okay, so you guys are lucky. There's only 2 episodes left this year.
And then we start a new season.
Yeah, then we start a whole new season. Whole new drinking game. This one will probably go over to the next season. I kind of like that one. So, oh man, but yeah, not a bad episode. Not a bad week really for wrestling. This was a good week. I liked both shows quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been this impressed with the shows in a while.
Yeah.
You know,
Since Pasta Mania.
Why you got to bring up Pasta Mania?
You know I do. Well, let me switch screens. We'll go over and we'll do the tally. So we'll be back in a second once I find the Monday Night Wars. There it is.
1001, 1002, 1000. That's
Oh. Well, it's got everything but our video on it. They can hear you, Tom.
It's got everything but our video.
Yeah.
I see a blank screen, dude.
You see a blank screen. It'll be up there in a second.
Okay, there we go.
Right now, you can see the last episode you gave Nitro a score that they so well deserved, and so I'm adding that now. So right now you've got Raw at 5.5 points, Nitro at 7.5 points, and the Dog Show at a single point. I have Raw at 5 points and Nitro at 9 well-deserving points. Last week I made the first choice, so this week it is going to be your pleasure.
Giving this to Raw.
Giving it to Raw.
And I'm going to go ahead and give not next week's, but the week after.
Yeah.
We give that to the Christmas Story.
You can't do that.
I can do that.
You can't do that. You know it.
My T is the first T.
Oh, that's funny. Hang on one second. There I am. Oh, I'm so beautiful. No, that's the cup.
Why am I looking at your control center? Why is my head so big?
All right, so you gave the point to Raw. So you got Raw at 6.5 points and Nitro at 7.5 points and Dog Show at a single point. All right. I, however, am the voice of reason, and I am going to award this show to Raw. Well deserved. It was a good episode of Raw, and it was a fresh of breath air from them. And it is their come home show. They got the pay-per-view this weekend, so it is kind of like you kind of expect this episode to be good because they want their buy rate for the pay-per-view to be good. So they did well, I think. But not a bad week really though, like I said.
Well, it was actually a really good week. But what pushed me over to the Raw win was the Backlund Bret Hart win or match, because that was a great match.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Like I said, it went. We haven't seen a Nitro match go 3 segments before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the first time since we've been doing the show that I've actually seen it, which means that we're looking at longer matches coming soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the match that did it for me as well. I think that it was interesting seeing the style, like you said, and for me, like I said before, I've been doing a lot of research into a lot of the older wrestling stuff, and I've watched a little bit of that style, and I I kind of wondered. I was like, nobody does that anymore. And then I watched this week, and then you've got them two doing it, and they talk a lot about Bret Hart's father, Stu, what he used to do to people, and Stu used to stretch people in the dungeon. And so, and when they talk about stretching, I'm pretty sure this is what they're talking about. He's got them down there, and he's putting them in holds and stuff and moves that he's just torturing you. And so, and that's what it's about.
But I mean, it's also really strange because Bob Backlund, he's a 70s, 80s wrestler.
Yeah.
So we're not talking, the time frame that you were watching back in the 50s and 60s.
Right, right.
70s and 80s was his time to shine, and he's kind of at the end of his career now. So it really shows because he kind of reminded me, his style is almost outdated by that point. So,
but yeah, not a bad week though. I'm kind of eager to see what happens this next week. I'm gonna go ahead and plug. We've got the stuff on Facebook. If you like our Facebook page, we've got all kinds of stuff going on there. It's very active now. We've got a lot of stuff going to be moving over here to YouTube. We've got a Twitter at TT Wrestling 1. It's the TT Wrestling the number 1. You can find us at TNT Wrestling on Facebook and YouTube. I think we've gone up about 200 likes in the last week over there.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're not sure if you liked, you can unlike and like several times on our page. We don't mind those notifications. So at least I don't. Someone up there might. So I mean down there on the second floor. So
you can tell them where I'm really on the 150th floor, all right?
I gotta write that down. Second floor. That's for next week. I gotta remember where you're at, man. I got 2 elevators. Anyways. So yeah. Next week we are watching the December 18th edition of Raw and Nitro. So that'd be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be the last Raw of the year.
Yep.
So the episode after that will be a Nitro only.
Nitro only.
Unless we go through and, we review the Christmas Story, which is what we've been showing at the time of Raw.
Yeah. Something that I want to do on our last episode, I talked to you a little bit about this. We are going to review Nitro. It's an obvious winner since it's the only one playing, unless it goes to the dog show. But we're going to do a kind of award show. Have a little extras, end of the year fun. So I'll have some more quizzes ready for Tom see what floor he'll end up on. This will be ongoing. So we'll see what floor he ends up on. We have what is it? We got the quizzes. We've got some awards to give out. It's our version of the Slammy, and so yeah, we've got some stuff to do. If you guys have any ideas of 1995 best match of the year for the Monday Night Wars, let me know. I've got some ideas, but I want to see what other people are thinking. So, you got anything you want to add, Mr. Kennedy?
No. Next week is Christmas, but we do have a show on Monday.
Yep.
So we'll see you next week.
Yeah, definitely.
Finish your Christmas shopping, your last minute Christmas shopping.
Yeah.